Hey guys, welcome back to Pentool Pals, a friendly podcast for graphic designers. I'm Canvas Cam from Canvas Design Company.
I'm Cole from Cole F Design. Thanks so much for joining us on episode 2, Pentool Pals. We're back. We're back, baby. Wow, how the time has flied from episode 1. Last week was pretty good. I'm pretty stoked on how the reaction was. Yeah, how's everything with you?
Good, man. I'm stoked on the launch. All last week we were just going back and forth, cutting down this 39-minute conversation into a 15-minute conversation, and up to launch day we were all stressed out, but yesterday it went really, really well. The views on that thing, the response that we got was very, very positive, and we just want to say thank you everyone for watching and being a pal.
It's just awesome to see, the community of artists come together and be stoked on what we're doing and get some reassurance that what we're talking about is what other people want to hear as well, and continuing the open bookness of what Pentools is all about.
So we said something on the podcast or in the captioning, and we just said, what do you guys want to hear next? And we heard so many different things. We had a bunch of private messages and all that stuff. And a reoccurring thing that we want to touch on just real quick is, we want to talk about pricing. And pricing kept on coming up. And while that is such a huge topic to talk about, we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to kind of lead it into another topic about creating your own work. So, what do you think about pricing, and how long did it take you to get to the pricing that you charge now?
Pricing, I think, is probably the number one question that all designers want to know. It's like
everyone wants to make money.
Everyone wants to make money. It's a well-kept secret too, because I think that pricing really depends on where you are in your career, where you want to go. And also, I think it's a client per client thing, right? No client's the same. Yeah. If you got a startup guy who's just making a couple teas, he's obviously not going to want to pay the same price as someone like a big Fortune 500 company, right? And being able to decipher what that budget looks like from the get-go is going to help you tremendously. And pricing is different for everyone. I think that this is such a huge conversation that can't even be unpacked under one episode of Pentool Pals. But to be able to understand the basis and going forward on how to interact with your client to charge basically the highest amount you can per client is going to win you that success moving forward in your art career.
It took me a long time to actually know my worth. And I think that's another important thing is with each job, there's a different, you're vetting your client essentially. If a SoundCloud rapper comes to you and goes, hey, I need you to do this, chances are they're not going to be able to afford your minimum compared to, a bank or a doctor's office. They're going to be able to afford higher. So it's kind of just knowing how far you can get by vetting your clients. You have to go in knowing what their budget is before you actually lay down a price. But also, you want to know your worth, and you don't want to, downplay yourself on pricing. So it's like, what your minimum is, like how much time and effort you're going to put into it. I put everything of my creative ability into each art project. And that could take hours. And so it's also knowing how much time you're going to be putting into it. Not necessarily having a price per hour, but you need to know, what is 1 hour of my time worth? Is it worth $20 an hour, or is it worth $100 an hour? I want to be paid for my time. I want to be paid for my worth. And, it's like some SoundCloud rapper, and I keep saying SoundCloud rapper because I have a terrible rapport with SoundCloud rappers going, oh, well, my homie could do it for this price. Well, dude, you should have went
the forever. I could get it done for this. Like, why are you asking for X?
Why are you in my face?
I think you said it best when you said, know your worth, know your value, right? If you have someone reaching out to you and you ask for X and they ask for much less than that number, and then you guys disagree on that price, that's okay. Stick to your budget. But if you're not doing any work that week and you have nothing on your plate and someone offers you some money and you can get it done because you have the time and like whatever, I, for one, when I first started out, like I I was a yes man, right? I would say yes to just about every project, not only because they were, something to build my portfolio with and whatnot, and I was able to show it on Instagram, but also like it's a good way of figuring out what people wanted. Like when I first started on Instagram, I had no idea what people even charged. Like if I just threw out a number, I just wanted to see if people were going to say yes or not. Now I've worked with hundreds of people, so now I know that average and what people are like expecting to hear and what that may be. But you're not going to find that out until you're like saying yes, saying no, telling people this, telling people that. And if you're really busy, which is like the best position to be in, just start throwing out random numbers. Like if this is like the number that I want right now, I'm really busy, but if you gave me X, then I will spend nights working on this, right?
For sure.
I'll stay up at night and work on it. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're charging what you think your time is valued at, and whatever that may be is totally up to you.
From there, that's a great segue to our next topic is, creating your own work for the jobs you want to get. At the beginning of my transition from having a day job to going and doing canvas design company full time, I had to start creating jobs for breweries that I wanted to work with and restaurants and coffee shops. And I did a lot of free pro bono stuff for my local coffee shop. That's when I started getting jobs from other coffee shops, and then a few breweries and mountain biking.
Without clients, it just doesn't work, right? You can't be just doing free work all day, every day throughout the years. We're not going to be able to survive. And we're creating art here, but we're also creating a living and a business. And what we do is definitely dependent on getting those clients. You don't want to get the less creative clients, right? You want to work for those coffee shops, those breweries. And how do you do that? You either do the free work like Cam did, right? You go reach out, network, try to get that in your portfolio, or you could even just come up with a fake concept, right? I mean, I came up with my own brand, Spruce. I started that back in high school. And
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. I started this brand Spruce in high school. It wasn't fake. It was a total legit, clothing brand. I got it into my local surf shop. We were selling seasonal lines for, a few years. The entire beginning portion of my Instagram page was just putting Spruce on designs and either selling it for t-shirt companies and changing out the name, or just doing what I want to do, right? This is what I love to create. And people responded so positively to that, to where I am today, and are asking for designs based off of design, like Spruce designs that I made myself. And that's the best thing, right? Getting clients based on your past work and creating portfolio work that clients want to have for themselves.
You and I kind of have the same upbringing, because I started Canvas as Canvas Wear. It was a clothing brand I started right out of high school. And I just created shirts, and it actually it leaned me into the world of graphic design. I started a little clothing brand because, it was like the cool thing to do. And I started falling in love with the design process, getting the designs right. And so for years, I let, Canvas be run as a clothing brand. I do events and this and that. And slowly but surely, I started putting it on the back burner because graphic design was taking over. And I started to design more logos and more t-shirts and apparel for other brands and companies. So very similar.
I think that so many graphic designers will resonate of having their own clothing brand, whether it be in high school or whatever period of time. It's like you ain't a real one if you didn't have some sort of clothing brand, like starting as a graphic designer.
I had the advantage in a lot of scenarios and a lot of experiences with other designers because they didn't know how to start a brand. And I think that was vital to the success of Canvas Design Company, because I knew how to brand. So
you gotta do it yourself. If you can do it, you have to do it yourself before you can do it for anyone else. And I think that's really the bottom line here. Making what you want for yourself will somehow be rolled into what other companies want from you.
Making designs that are so good for yourself that it attracts the attention of the brands you want to work for.
Preach. Like, you're obviously wanting to believe in yourself, but if you're doing that over and over again and never seeing clients, like definitely take a step back and look at your portfolio, see what else is out there, like who's doing good work, getting a lot of clients and why. And that way you can shift as needed, because you can also be blind to your own design work and then need to shift, need to grow. Like as a designer, you need to always grow. Every year we're going to be better. Every day we should be better, right?
Yep.
And if you're not striving to be better as a designer every day, then take a step back, take a deep breath, get back on your computer, and then start grinding harder.
Go back to your day job. If you don't think that, I am fully aware that I have not reached my my potential yet. If you're not trying to get better every day and you think you're the best, you've already failed, in my opinion. My secret is like, I suck at drawing, but I just try so hard that it works out, you know?
Fuck yeah. Dude, what are some projects you've been working on lately? You have any fun ones that you've been working on?
Yeah, man. I have this one that I finished a little while back. This is Bicycle Pantry. This guy, Andy, he's in the bike community here in Bakersfield. He's had Bicycle Pantry for a number of years, and he came to me with this idea. It really started with, not knowing exactly what direction that we were going in. He knew that he wanted a bike and something that incorporates kind of the Southern Sierra desert type surroundings that we have here in Kern County. I played with a bunch of different ideas. A lot of stuff didn't land, and that's okay, kind of the back and forth. But we landed right here, but kind of putting together a bunch of different ideas, pantry border, playing off of the name of his business. I just played hell with, trying to incorporate some ideas that would really kind of make this thing lift off the page. I started with, the mountains being darker so that it could bring the background is pushing the bike out. The bike was the most important thing of this project. And so once we got the icon down, it just kind of fell in line. I put, a logo stack together, 2 different logo types and some badges. The client was happy. I'm really happy. And it's a gorgeous logo. I'm really stoked on.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I love how many applications you're able to use within the mark, and the border is super unique. So this was a project that I just completed recently. It was for a film company. 2 guys, super cool, Jake and Travis. They were a very rare client of mine that was actually able to provide a great brief. They had a few inspiration images that they provided beforehand. I always ask, what is going to be your mark? Do you want me to come up with it? Are you guys going to come up with it? Voyager is a pretty broad thing, right? You could have a ship, you could have a astronaut, you could have a pirate, you could have waves. You never know. It's so broad, right? So they came up and they're like, we want an astronaut. This was the design one that I came up with.
Yeah.
Cool badge, nice space helmet. It's a little bit more defined, give them some colorways, and just like you do, different applications, right?
Yep.
This way they're not just having a standstill logo and say, here you go. This way they're able to use it in different ways. And then I just gave them the design too. I think this is a bit more built out, right? Now he has a flag and again, different color variations. Well, epic, man. That was a great second episode of Pentool Pals, a friendly podcast between 2 graphic designers, Cole from Cole F Design and Cam from Canvas Cam.
Canvas Cam from Canvas Design Company. With my trusty pal, Herman.
Right.
Say
the
bye,
Pentool
Herman.
Pals mascot.
Oh, yeah.
Tune in next week. We're going to talk a bit about references. We'll talk, a bit more about what we do on a weekly basis, and, hit us up in the comments about what you want to see. Right, Cam?
Yeah. Thank you for being a pal. And I'm stoked for next week.
Thank you for being a pal. That's the jingle that we're working on.
Thank you for being a pal. That's where it's coming. It's coming. The jingle's coming.